Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jin-X-Ken Gaming. With our new podcast tonight, we're going to talk about NFL players who never got to experience winning the Super Bowl. And in the beginning, there was, if you've not noticed, was the Super Bowl trophy handout, which is the Lombardi celebration that they play when they give the Lombardi trophy to the winning team. And these players, unfortunately, did not get to enjoy that. They were on the wrong side of it, or they just never got to go. And so I've gone to, we're going to go to a couple different sites here. The first one I've got on here is foxsports.com, and we're going to talk about who they think are the top 20 players that never won one. And we'll compare, contrast, we'll go through all of them. Okay, we're going to start off with number 20, which is Ken Houston, a safety who played for the Houston Oilers from 1967 to 1972, and the Washington Redskins from 1973 to 1980. And at number 19, we have Chris Dolman, a defensive end who played for the Minnesota Vikings from 1985 to 1993 and also 1999, the Atlanta Falcons from 1994 to 1995, and the San Francisco 49ers from 1997 to 1998. Right, number 18, we have Ozzie Newsome, a tight end who played for the Cleveland Browns from 1978 to 1990. Number 17 is Randall McDaniel, an offensive guard who played for the Minnesota Vikings from 1988 to 1999, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from 2000 to 2001. Number 16 and 15, we've got Deacon Jones, a defensive end, and Merlin Olsen, a defensive tackle. I'm kind of lost here where they put two of them together. I assume Deacon Jones is the first one because they've got two different things on here. So Deacon Jones played for the Los Angeles Rams from 1961 to 1971, the San Diego Chargers from 1972 to 1973, and the Washington Redskins in 1974. And Merlin Olsen, the defensive tackle, played for the Los Angeles Rams from 1962 to 1976. At number 4, we have Kevin Green, a linebacker who played for the Los Angeles Rams from 1985 to 1992, the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1993 to 1995, the Carolina Panthers 1996 and 1998 to 1999, and the San Francisco 49ers in 1997. Number 13 is Junior Seau, a linebacker who played for the San Diego Chargers from 1990 to 2002, the Miami Dolphins from 2003 to 2005, and the New England Patriots from 2007 to 2009. At number 12, we have Jim Kelly, a quarterback who played for the Buffalo Bills from 1986 to 1996. At number 11, we have Derek Thomas, a linebacker who played for the Kansas City Chiefs from 1989 to 1999. Number 10, Eric Dickerson, a running back who played for the Los Angeles Rams from 1983 to 1987, the Indianapolis Colts from 1987 to 1991, the Oakland Raiders from 1992, and the Atlanta Falcons in 1993. Number 9, we have Bruce Smith, a defensive end who played for the Buffalo Bills from 1985 to 1999, and the Washington Redskins from 2000 to 2003. At number 8, we have LaDainian Tomlinson, a running back who played for the San Diego Chargers from 2001 to 2009, and the New York Jets from 2010 to 2011. At number 7, we have Chris Carter, a wide receiver who played on the Philadelphia Eagles from 1987 to 1989, the Minnesota Vikings 1990 to 2001, and the Miami Dolphins in 2002. Number 6, we have Randy Moss, a wide receiver who played with the Minnesota Vikings from 1998 to 2004 and also in 2010, the Oakland Raiders who in 2005 and 2006, New England Patriots in 2007 to 2010, Tennessee Titans in 2010, and the San Francisco 49ers in 2012. At number 5, we have Tony Gonzalez, a tight end who played for the Kansas City Chiefs from 1997 to 2008, and the Atlanta Falcons from 2009 to 2013. At number 4, you have Dan Fouts, a quarterback who played for the San Diego Chargers from 1973 to 1987. Number 3. Oh, we just got asked, is there any Viking Hall of Famers? Well, you got it. We got Fran Tarkenton, a quarterback who played for the Minnesota Vikings from 1961 to 1966, and in 1972 to 1978, and the New York Giants from 1967 to 71. Pro Gamers, he never won a Super Bowl. He did play in 4 of them. No, wait. He went to 3 Super Bowl appearances in 4 years, but did not win any. So I guess there was one that he didn't go to with the Vikings. So did not know that. And there you go. Number 2 is Barry Sanders, a running back who played for the Detroit Lions from 1989 to 98. And at number 1, you have Dan Marino, a quarterback who played for the Miami Dolphins from 1983 to 2000. Alrighty, so that is the top 20 athletes they feel that were notable and did not win the Super Bowl. Clearly, there are some names on here that will stand out as they are the top 20 names. There are some on here that I am surprised that they never won a Super Bowl. And there are some on here that are synonymous with not winning a Super Bowl, such as Dan Marino or Jim Kelly. So let's talk a little bit about each of these athletes. Okay, so we'll start off with one of the most impressive athletes to not win a Super Bowl, which was Randy Moss. Randy Moss is widely known for playing with the Vikings and the Patriots. He's kind of known for the Raiders, but he only spent 2 years there, and the 49ers, he was only there for 1 year, but he wasn't the same. You look at it, he started in 1998, which the year I was born, and he ended in 2012, which would have been a 14-year career, and he was not able to win a Super Bowl in that time, as unfortunate as that is. And so that is one of the players that sadly did not win one, but it's one of those things, unfortunately. Another one, Fran Tarkenton. You usually don't hear about a quarterback going to 3 Super Bowls and losing all of them, unless you are Jim Kelly, who went to 4 and lost all of them, which another athlete on here. And so that's another thing, is like you can't expect when you go to the Super Bowl to win it if you go multiple times, because as the Buffalo Bills, you go 4 times. The only times that you go to the Super Bowl, you go 4 times in a row. The first team to do it, the only team to do it, and you lose all of them. You can't do that. You can't just expect that you're going to win them all. And unfortunately for Jim Kelly, he didn't win any of them. Went to 4 in a row, didn't win any of them. Oh God, what was his name? The head coach of the Bills at the time. I believe it was Levy, I believe. He went to 4 of them, and he didn't win any. And so, Dan Fouts, you look at him, he held a lot of the records until Phillip Rivers came, and now Phillip Rivers is taking over. Chris Carter, another name that gets thrown there. He didn't win any. He's not as prolific as Randy Moss. I mean, they did play together for a little bit, but he's not as prolific. And so, you look at him and you're just like, okay, I can kind of see, but you kind of wonder, like what would have happened had had Moss and Carter, when they played on the Vikings together, had they gone to the Super Bowl, if they would have won. They were both talented athletes, 2 wide receivers. One is in the Hall of Fame, one will be going to the Hall of Fame, whether it be this year, next year, in the future, he will be going. And they could not get it done, unfortunately. And so, another name that's not on here, that I want to point out because he's up for the Hall of Fame this year, is Brian Urlacher, linebacker for the Bears. He played for a while on the Bears. I don't exactly remember what his career span was. I believe he started in 2002 and then retired. I believe he retired in 2010, 2011. Well, 5 years from now, it would have been 2012 season. So, because you have to wait 5 years to be eligible to be in the Hall of Fame. So, he would have been done after the 2012 season. Um, okay, so we got another comment here. What about Harvin? Isn't he a Hall of Fame person? Percy Harvin was a really good athlete. Unfortunately, his career was derailed by injuries. He had a nice career, and I say nice because it wasn't. You look at his stats, and they're not Hall of Fame. Unfortunately, they're not Hall of Fame numbers. And so, while he was a really good athlete, his career was cut short because of injuries, and he couldn't do his full potential. And so, unfortunately, he will be out of the Hall of Fame. If had he stayed healthy, there may have been, a potential for him to be in the Hall of Fame, but he could not, and so he will be left out, unfortunately. So. Oh, what about Leno Jr. for the Bears? Well, if we're talking about the left tackle, he, if we're talking about him, he's still young, so we're not sure. At this point, he's not a Hall of Fame, because he is young. So, drafted in the 2014 NFL draft. He's only been in, since 2014. So it's too soon to say. And so I'm not exactly sure how he'll do. He did sign an extension this year, so the Bears obviously believe in him, but they're not sure how that's going to play out for him. So, we'll see with him. He's decent. He's been okay, but he has kind of struggled a little bit. He is young. He'll learn, but as of right now, he is not Hall of Fame just yet. So we'll keep an eye on him. Okay, so. Oh, you're welcome, Bro Pro Gamers. Thank you for commenting on this live video. Okay, so okay, so okay, so when you think of athletes who have not won the Super Bowl, you think of athletes such as like Dan Marino. With the Hall of Fame, it's funny how you talk about it because athletes are looked at for Super Bowl rings and how many did you win, like what team were you on when you did it. And unfortunately, that's a sad state of affairs for, like when you look at an athlete who gets in and who doesn't, because because there are good athletes who they unfortunately they do not win the Super Bowl, and when when they don't win, they're looked at as they're not a great athlete. They're not. They don't belong in there. Like they just. It's unfortunate because Dan Marino is one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, and unfortunately, because he did not win a Super Bowl, he is not compared with the likes of like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Joe Montana, even though he was breaking a lot of passing records for his time. And and then you look at like quarterbacks, and you make that argument. You look at quarterbacks like Trent Dilfer, who nobody's ever heard of, unless you're a Ravens fan like me. You've never heard of somebody like him because he wasn't that great of a quarterback. And so, but he won a Super Bowl with the 2000 Ravens only because the Ravens defense was incredible. You put them up there with like the 85 Bears or the Steel Curtain for the Steelers. They were incredible. And So you make that discussion, like, oh, well, Trent Dilfer has a, like a championship. Why doesn't Dan Marino have one? Well, because Dan Marino probably did not have the defense that Trent Dilfer had, and did Trent Dilfer have the stats? No, he didn't have the stats. That's why he's not in the Hall of Fame. In fact, I don't think he actually was the first Super Bowl player, I believe, to be released right after they won. Like, he was not that good, and it proved it because they said, you know what, you're done. Right after the next day, right after, they were just like, you're going to be cut. And so, um, it's just unfortunate. It's one of those things. When we discuss, who gets in the Hall of Fame and who doesn't. Um, and so, let's go ahead and I guess with the rest of this podcast, we'll talk about NFL Hall of Fame players. Um, that aren't in that should probably be in, whether it be this year, next year. We'll look at the candidates and that were up for this year, and we'll go ahead and we'll discuss whether they should make it or not based off of stats, um, or how they played and how they revolutionized everything. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to start off with Terrell Owens because I know that's a big name coming up right now. And yeah, he should have made the Hall of Fame last year. Unfortunately, he was left out um, for the simple reason that his character got called into question, and so they basically said, you know what, you're a great athlete, but do we really want you to be in the Hall of Fame for how you acted and all of that stuff? So. Okay, so he is right behind Jerry Rice in a lot of records, and so yes, he should definitely be in. Whether he gets in this year or next year, I don't know, um, but we'll just have to see. Okay, so who else? We have Randy Moss, who again he will be in the Hall of Fame. However you look at it, because he was good, he revolutionized the game. Everybody knows who Randy Moss is because of how he played. Um, that should tell you a lot about how um, he was, and so you know he should be in. Going to be a good question of when he gets in, because it's you got Terrell Owens, and we're not sure how many receivers they're going to put in or how many positions they'll put in each. Okay, so um, we have Brian Dawkins. That's a good name thrown out there right now. Um, Brian Dawkins, great safety. Should be in. Does he get in this year? Who knows? It is going to be stacked. Ray Lewis, he gets in, and not as me as saying as a Ravens fan, but only because of how he changed the middle linebacker position. Just for like my generation, when you thought of middle linebackers, you thought of Ray Lewis because he was consistent with how he played and how he hyped the team up every game. Like, you had Joe Flacco going, oh, well, we didn't know what he was talking about half the time, but he did really great with how he spoke, so we just went along with it. So, let's see if I can actually find that quote real quick. So, it was one of those things where you had this leader who motivated the team, uh, and you're just like, so, it's one of those things. Let's see here. Although I will say though that Ray Lewis and Joe Flacco kind of get into a little bit. So yes, Ray Lewis should be in. If you don't know who I'm talking about, let me show you a speech of his from Madden 13. He had this incredible speech that was one of those where you got really hyped before you played the game because of just how he excelled at this. So here you go.
I've always been told that I'm too small. I'm not big enough. I'm not fast enough. I don't have what it takes. To be the best and stay there, sweat is necessary. Walter and Jerry had their heels, never being comfortable. We're just good enough. It's right now, never! It's right now, never! I prepare so no one can take what is mine. No one can replace my mind, my heart. Bombarded and striking me. And now our biggest prize bears his name. I'm older. Of course I'm older. That's the beauty of it. 16 years plus. Different level of wisdom, different level of understanding, different level of punishment. Long after my records have fallen, long after my rings are tarnished. Whatever you got to do to make sure you chase your legacy every second of your life. Will you be remembered? How would you be remembered? Why wouldn't you fight for the greatest achievement ever? Leave your mark.
Okay, so that's Ray Lewis. Great great speaker and great leader for his team. So yes, he will be in. Um, there's just yeah, he'll be in. Another name on here they mentioned is Brian Urlacher. Um, Again, being a Bears fan, I got kind of lucky having two middle linebackers who are really great at their position. Um, Urlacher will be in. I don't know if it'll be this year just because of Ray Lewis. Um, so I'm not sure how that's gonna go. Uh, so I gotta play my own video. Do I have a donation account to where people can donate? I do not. Don't know how to set that up. uh, I have no idea how to do that yet. And I until we get this a little bit bigger, I kind of leave it as watch when you want to kind of thing. And so just trying to get people involved, I guess, right now, and then maybe once this gets bigger, if need to, we can go ahead and do something like that. Okay, so yes, okay, so with Brian Urlacher, he will eventually will be in. Um, when he gets in, not sure, but he will be in. So okay, so let's look at somebody else. Okay, so we have Hines Ward, another name that's thrown out there. Hines Ward was good. Pretty, he's pretty undersized, to be completely honest. But he made the most of it and, played with heart and, played on the Steelers. And, he does have the stats. He does have the playing ability. Does he get in this year? No, I don't think so, because you just have all these other players on here that have a better resume, I guess. Like you got Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, both part of the greatest show on turf, and that'll be hard to compete with. And then you got like Terrell Owens and Randy Moss, and so out of those, I think Hines Ward might be fourth overall out of all those receivers. Um, so yeah, he will not get in this year. When he gets in is a good question because I'm not even sure of that. I could say maybe next year, the year after. Depends on how deep the receiver class will be. Okay, so now we have Edgar and James, running back who played with uh, Manning for a little bit. Great running back. He knew how to like he did a lot for like the Colts and stuff. And so, interesting. Just reading a little bit of stuff. So we don't know um with him, you got running back, especially with being Edgar and James. I don't think he gets in this year. I don't. Um, Kevin Mawe, great center. He doesn't get in, unfortunately. There's just too many names on here that um, he has to compete with. And I believe it's only 6 players that six um, notable people involved with the NFL that get elected, and he will not be one of them. John Lynch. John Lynch will make it. Kind of surprised he didn't make it last year. Um, he was a hard hitter. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and here's some of his stuff.
John Lynch has been a safety and warrior for the Broncos and Buccaneers.
You do feel like a warrior. That's the thing I love about the opportunity to play in this league. Come on! Let's go! Knock him out! Let's go! Let's go. Hey, let's see what we're made of. Let's see what we're made of right here. You go hit them like you never hit someone. Let's go. You can't ever have fear on the field. You've always got to have that little bit of a feeling of immortality that you're going after it. It sounds brutal, but it's a brutal game.
Just those hard impacts are crazy to listen to. Watching this video, he demolished a lot of people. So, who do I think gets elected this year? I think Ray Lewis goes in. I think John Lynch gets in. I think Moss and Owens both get in at the same time. Past that, maybe Dawkins. Maybe, I'm not sure. And probably Jimmy Johnson, maybe, I want to say. Like, that's who my candidates are. I would love to see Urlacher go. I'm not sure if he does because of Ray Lewis. It's gonna be tough. There's going to be the biggest. Well, there'll be 2 biggest discussions with the Hall of Fame this year. You've got Ray Lewis and Urlacher, and you've got Owens and Moss. And you got to just you got to talk about it. Do we want to put all these guys in and leave everybody else out, or put like 2 other people in, or do we want to take one of each and put them in, or do they just say, we're not going to put any of those in. We'll leave them till next year. There's too many good names on here right now. It's going to be a big discussion, and it's going to be interesting to see how they the Hall of Fame goes with this. There's a bunch of good names on here that I did not name. If you're interested, you can go to NFL.com. You can, Pro Football Hall of Fames, selection. There's 15. There's 27 semifinalists. It looks like, and they'll just keep 27, and then it'll go down to 15 in January, and then it'll go down to 6, I believe. Like I said, I believe it's 6. So yeah. You look at some of these names. The what sucks is I'm a big fan of watching Steve McNair play because he was crazy. Unfortunately, he just did not. He didn't win a Super Bowl either, so that's gonna hurt him a little bit. And so because of it, he's he doesn't get talked about either. He was great. He will not be in the Hall of Fame, unfortunately. His stats and doing much after the he kept the Titans together. He made them decent. Um, but after that, he's just there's not much. And so unfortunately, he will be left out. So um, so we okay. So we have Hall of Fame players. Who do I think will make the Hall of Fame that is still playing? Because that's another discussion. Tom Brady definitely. Tom Brady will make it in a first year. A lot of people consider him the greatest of all time or GOAT because he won his 5th Super Bowl. No quarterback's ever done that. He tied Montana for most Super Bowl MVPs. There's a bunch of records that he's set. So he will go in, no doubt, as a first ballot Hall of Famer, which basically means he will go in his first year of eligibility. Who else will go into the Hall of Fame when they're done? Terrell Suggs from the Ravens. J.J. Watt, I believe, if he stays healthy and he plays well, he'll be in the Hall of Fame. Just picking an athlete from each team that I think will make it for the Bears. That'll be maybe Jordan Howard. If he keeps playing like he does, he'll definitely be up there in Hall of Fame discussions. Let's see, Atlanta, Matt Ryan, probably go, or at least have a decent chance of being in the Hall of Fame. Okay, Carolina, Luke Kuechly. Either Luke Kuechly or Greg Olsen will go. Out of those two, it's hard to say. One of those will go, if not both. Detroit, that's tough. Probably Stafford, and I say that because he is a good player, but he hasn't won any playoff games, so it's hard to tell like what everybody's gonna think with that. It's probably Stafford. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, no doubt. Minnesota will probably be. Let's see here. Xavier Rhodes is playing really well right now. Do I think? But I don't know if he'll be in the Hall of Fame. That one's tough. Probably go with Harrison Smith because he's been pretty consistent. So he will probably be up for the Hall of Fame. Okay. Let's see here. The Saints, Drew Brees all day on that team. Poor guy has played his heart out each season, and his team has kind of let him down. He should have more Super Bowl wins than he does now. Let's see. Buccaneers. On that team, if everybody keeps playing like how I don't know off that one. That one's hard. Probably Gerald McCoy. That's the only person I can think of who will have a decent chance at going to the Hall of Fame. And he's playing on a team where they're not doing too well. I mean, he's been pretty decent. His name is known, but I don't know if he'll go. And then you've got the Seattle Seahawks. Earl Thomas or Cam Chancellor will be one of those that makes it. 49ers fans, sorry, you have no athletes on your team that are going to make it. So I'm sorry, but this is for you. I really don't see anybody on that team. You released Bowman, and he was the best chance, but you released him, and right now I can't think of any Hall of Famers. Maybe Joe Staley. Maybe. That's a big if. that will make it besides him. So yeah, he. You guys have nobody. Just kidding. Yeah, Joe Staley's probably gonna be up there. Yoga Flame. Sorry. um, this is how I spend my time, with the Bears losing and the Ravens being mediocre. I just sit back and I start thinking, man, maybe I should drown my sorrows in yoga. You release the mind and forget how terrible your teams are. Okay, so then we have, Seahawks 49ers. The Rams right now, for the Rams, you've got Aaron Donald, who will probably be up for the Hall of Fame. And then, which team am I forgetting in the West? Cardinals. Fitzgerald. Um, Best name that comes up to my head when you talk about Cardinals players. He's very consistent. His drop rate is like really, really low compared to how many, like the catch drop ratio is just, it makes him look phenomenal for what he's done. He doesn't have many drops in his career. Catches everything. So, yes, I honestly think that he will actually be like a first ballot Hall of Famer too when he has that chance because of how consistent he is. He's in his late 30s, maybe retiring soon, but he's still playing decently well. Even though he's older and he's lost his prime, he's not as good as he used to be, he's still playing decently well. So, yeah, he'll be up for it. And the East, you've got the Eagles, who their might be Hall of Famer would be uh, Jason Peters. Jason Peters is one of the best left tackles. He will be up there for it. The Cowboys, Jason Witten. Jason Witten is, I was gonna say Sean Lee, but you can't. Jason Witten is too valuable to say no to him, and so we're just gonna say Jason Witten. Sean Lee's been kind of inconsistent. He's been injured. Only other name I can think of maybe on that team that has a decent chance, but no, he's too inconsistent. So we're gonna go with Jason Witten, no question. For the Giants, probably Eli. Does he have the stats for it? Maybe not, but he did beat two Patriots teams that looked unstoppable, considering he beat a team that went 16-0 for the first time in the Super Bowl when nobody predicted him to. May have been his defense with help, who knows? And then you've got everybody out there. Well, Eli's only writing off his last name for Manning. Why doesn't he get, why is he for the Hall of Fame? And you look at him and you're just like, you're true. It's true. He does. He does have the last name Manning. It's clearly in his name. It's spelled the same. Maybe they're brothers. Who knows? Does he have the stats? I'm not sure. That's up for debate. They're very close to Hall of Fame status, and he has been pretty consistent. So I will say yes for him. And then the Redskins. That one's tough too. Because there's no one on there besides maybe Ryan Kerrigan that sticks out to me. Kirk Cousins has played well, but he's still fairly young, so you don't know with him. Ryan Kerrigan has been pretty consistent on that team, so I'm gonna go with him. Okay, and then we'll move on to the AFC. We have the Patriots. I said Tom Brady with the Dolphins. Cameron Wake is a name that comes up. The whole team is kind of not on the right track right now, and Cameron Wake he's actually older than what I thought he was when he first played, because he didn't come into the league until he was like older than most players, and so he'll have a very like a young career compared to everybody, even though he's older, but he's still playing his heart out there, making plays for everybody. So I'm gonna go Cameron Wake for the Dolphins. For the Jets, you gotta go with well, do you go with anybody on the Jets at this point? Like, does anybody really stick out? Because I can't think of anybody right now that would stick out to me on the Jets being up for the Hall of Fame. You know what you guys get? Like the 49er fans? I really can't think of anybody. Like, I really want to say somebody for the Jets because I said somebody for the 49ers, but I cannot think of anybody right now that would be decently good to be in the Hall of Fame. Maybe, maybe Jermaine Curse? Maybe not even that. Like, that's a hard decision. I cannot think of anybody. The only player you think of on that team is McCown, and he's been a journeyman. I mean, he's probably, his stats are probably a little decent because he's played in the league for, like, since God created the earth, like, God knows how long he's been playing the league. So many different teams. He's like a rainbow of jerseys, like Shaquille O'Neal, NBA. You look at him and you're like, where's the pot of gold? Hey, you've got a rainbow on you. And so you're like, So that one I'm not sure. Who did I forget in that division? You got the Jets, Dolphins. Oh, the Bills. And with that team, probably Shady McCoy. Probably the best option for Hall of Fame. Dude's been pretty consistent. His name's not actually Shady, it's LaShawn. He's not from, well, he might be, I'm not sure. He might be from the hood, I don't know. But he's not Shady. He's LaShawn McCoy, not Shady McCoy. That's just a nickname. So the Steelers, you got Roethlisberger, no doubt about that. Might be first ballot Hall of Famer. Not too quite sure on that. That's up for debate. Ravens, Terrell Suggs. Yeah, we already said that earlier, so I don't want to get into that. Bengals, probably AJ Green. Putting up numbers like crazy. When you think of that team, it's pretty much AJ Green's team, not Andy Dalton's, because Andy Dalton is too inconsistent right now. So we're going to go with AJ Green on that one. And the Browns, well, we're going to go with Joe Staley. Or not, damn, wrong team. Wrong team. Zach, this is what you get because you messed up your own podcast with the wrong team. I got a losing horn too. That's crazy. So we're gonna go with Joe Thomas. That's who I was trying to say. And so we're gonna go with Joe Thomas for the Browns. Okay, so we go to the AFC West. Denver Broncos right now. Von Miller. No doubt, Von Miller. Crazy dude, crazy athlete, first ballot Hall of Famer, questionable, but he is up there. Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, that one's tough because I don't know. Derek Johnson, maybe either Derek Johnson or Justin Houston. That's a tough one between those two. They've both been pretty good. Even Eric Berry, maybe. Like that whole defense is like there's a bunch of players on that defense you could like possibly say will be in the Hall of Fame when they're done. It's like super stacked right now with talent. I know that's not performing well. They have gone 1-5 in their last 6 games. That you're starting 5-0. So we're gonna go with that. Quiet. I hate when I have to think because then I pause and it's like an awkward silence, and it's just like, it's suspenseful. It's like, So, yeah, we're who's next in that division? Oh, the Chargers. Phillip Rivers, no question. Don't fight me. Don't at me. Oakland Raiders. I'm probably gonna go with as of right now. Probably either Marshawn Lynch or Derek Carr. That's a good question. Another good one that you just don't know. At this point, Marshawn Lynch. But if Derek Carr keeps playing the way he is, he'll be up for it. Okay, so we've done everybody in the AFC West. Let's go to the AFC South, the last division left. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. Oh, I'm not ready for it. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do the AFC South. I already did one team earlier. I don't want to do it again. Alright, let's go to the AFC South. Okay, so now we're here at the AFC South. Okay, we're looking at the Colts. We're looking at the Colts. We looking at the Colts. You know who's gonna be in the Hall of Fame for the Colts? Probably T.Y. Hilton. Maybe Leroy Jenkins, but T.Y. Hilton will be there. We tied the Texans with J.J. Watt. Tennessee Titans. Mariota, like Mario. You got Mariota. Complete with. Okay, so then we got the Jaguars. Ooh, not the Jaguars. Who could possibly be in the Hall of Fame for them?
And his name is John C.
Okay, Jaguars. Ooh, do I really have to pick one? I really don't want to. Probably go with the who's a good name for them? I don't even know. I don't know who to pick for that. Probably for them. Who would you pick for them? There's like options I want to pick, but they're like young. Like Leonard Fournette maybe. He has a good chance. He's been looking really good. And there he goes running. Okay, so yeah, probably Leonard Fournette if he keeps doing what he's doing. All right, so that's all the players. That were maybe in the Hall of Fame for the teams. Then but we got 12 minutes to spare. Okay, well, what's the next session gonna be? Ooh, let's talk about some funny NFL news right now. Uh, some funny, and don't get me wrong, there will be more sports than football. It's just right now with it being the NFL season, I'm gonna focus more on that. Okay, so YouTube is your best friend for stuff like this because nothing leaves the internet, and yeah, it's quite interesting when you think about it. So let's look at our man Superman Cam. What was his biggest moment this year? Well, there was a reporter who decided to ask Cam Newton about what kind of route. I think it was Devin Funchess. They said what kind of route he was running, and Cam decided to make a little joke out of it.
A lot of pride in seeing your receivers play well. Devin Funchess has seemed to really embrace the physicality of his routes and getting those extra yards. Does that give you a little bit of an enjoyment to see him kind of truck stick the people out there?
It's funny to hear a female talk about routes. Like, it's funny.
Baby, that's the way. Anthony Davis house, baby, got 100-inch screen TV.
Cam, what is you doing, baby?
Hell yeah, nigga.
What was that? What was that? Okay. So now we have Cam Newton. Cam Newton. I don't think he understood what he was saying. Uh, of course, he was confused because let's be honest here. Well, woman talks about routes. Am I right, guys? Anybody out there? Please, anybody? God, the one was aggressive. I think he was trying to attack me. Okay, so yes. Uh, he messed up right there because, I mean, I see it both ways. I see it as he thought it was funny because I'll be completely honest. I'm not being sexist here when I say this, and I don't want anybody to think this either. But it's kind of like, you know, you don't hear a lot about like women who are involved with sports. Yes, they know what they are talking about. Cam should have never said that because it was a reporter. Now, if I ask, like my sister, hey, what kind of route did he run? And she's like, well, he ran this route. I'll be like, I'll be impressed because, I'll be like, I'll be happy about it. And that's not because she's a female, but it's just because she doesn't focus on football much, but she doesn't. If she came up to me and she told me that, I'd be like, wow, that's awesome. That's great. I wouldn't down her like I think Cam Newton did, but there are better ways, and I see where Cam Newton's coming from because he was kind of like trying to make a joke out of it, and he felt bad about it, and he did apologize, so I'll give him that. And I see where he's kind of coming from, but there were better ways of handling it, I think, like saying, hey, it's funny, like I don't hear a lot of people talking about that. It's cool that you told me about that, like something along those lines, not just full out like it's funny to hear a woman talk about routes. It's so funny. Something like that. So, yeah, that's another discussion. We'll do a full podcast of views in the NFL. That'll be what a what a debate that'll be. Okay, so we got another funny NFL moment with actually last night with Tom Savage. I don't exactly remember what happened. I've heard from many people that he blew the game, which it was close, so he might have had a chance of that. But everybody was so upset with him that at his press conference, I guess nobody showed up.
The Tom Savage press conference can now be brought to you in its entirety.
Good? Good. Great.
He literally got up there, and they said, no one's here. It's empty. Oh, man, that's great. No one's here. You're all alone, Savage. What a savage response to Tom Savage. His savage inception. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm trying to be funny and it doesn't make any damn sense. So no, that yes, as a quarterback, a lot of it falls upon you, but at the same time, it's not. Well, Tom Savage ain't a good quarterback. I'll be completely honest, but it doesn't fall all on him. So I don't see how nobody came in. That's pretty bad. Apparently, nobody thought he was good enough for an interview. So that tells you about him as a quarterback and how much longer he will last. Okay, let's think. Let's think of what's another funny moment. Oh, how about this one? Once I can find it, and everybody is going to laugh at this. one of the funniest things that ever happened. Okay, my bad. You hear Tom Brady, so you know it's going to be one of his Super Bowls. Oh, hey, it's an Aaron Rodgers commercial. He just closed the door on Clay. Keeps closing it on Clay. Aaron's like, Clay, not now. Okay, here we go.
Toss to White. He's in. Patriots win the Super Bowl.
What a funny joke. The Falcons winning the Super Bowl. Okay, I have a... Oh, we're getting a request here for one of the funniest moments. Okay, we got Jim Marshall going the wrong way. All right, I like this. I didn't even think about it till just now. We'll go ahead and play it real quick.
Looking. Stops, throws, completes it to Kilmer up at the 30-yard line. Kilmer driving for the first down, loses the football. It's picked up by Jim Marshall, who's running the wrong way. His teammates were running along the far side of the field.
Yeah, he ran the wrong way. Poor guy. He was so excited, he didn't realize which way he was running. How about when Randy Moss booned the Packers fans? Was it Packers fans? I believe. That's who it was. Yeah, it was Packers. And, oh, what a great moment that was.
Randy Moss is in for a touchdown. Oh, Al Harris playing off. Randy Moss.
It was not a disgusting act. It was kind of funny. I liked it. It was funny to watch. You think that was bad? You should have seen what Terrell Owens used to do. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Terrell Owens, Oh, the Jim Marshall video? Give me 1 second. I think I know how to fix it. Okay, let's see if maybe we can get that one. Okay, so the sound quality was better on the other one.
Stops, throws, completes it to Kilmer up at the 30-yard line. Kilmer driving for the first down, loses the football.
They're playing dramatic music.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
I'm sorry. Let's play that again real quick. That was pretty good.
Looking. Stops, throws, completes it to Kilmer up at the 30-yard line. Kilmer driving for the first down, loses the football. Congratulations. You played yourself.
I don't know what's going on with that video. I wonder if the other videos are doing that though. Yeah, it's the whole recording thing is kind of weird when it comes to that. I'm glad I got Pro Gamers keeping me on my toes. What would I do without him? He's been messaging me all night. In fact, he's the only one messaging me tonight because you guys suck. I'm just kidding. You guys are awesome. Okay, so I think our last little tidbit here, because we are at the hour mark. Let's talk about ooh, let's talk about fashion, shall we? Just kidding. That I can't steal that joke from Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham's a great guy, guys. Go check him out. Um, okay, so we should talk about the how the NFL is right now, according to hold up, hold up. Oh. Okay. You guys, go subscribe to Pro Gamers. I am on his channel. Some great videos for everybody. Okay, so videos for days. Okay, last tidbit. We will be starting gaming videos soon. Don't know when. I'm probably what I'm gonna do is do each night of something, but I'm going to mix it up. So like we have 2 nights of podcast, we'll have 2 nights of gaming, 2 nights of podcast. So um gosh. So yeah, we'll do 2 nights of gaming, 2 nights of podcast, do something like that. And I did say a half hour. We may just do it into just from 2 half-hour episodes to doing like 1 hour maybe. It just all depends. So, you know, this will probably be in the past when everybody watches this, considering it's live and there's only one person. So yes, even if, and I didn't make this comment last night, even if you're watching this and you want to say something with it, I'll still get the notification about it, and we can talk about it in a future episode, or I can comment on that video and, like say something like don't feel afraid that if you see a past, like a past video, like don't be afraid to say something. Just, go ahead and, when like the video too, if you liked it. It shows me that people care about the podcast, and, we keep it going. And we've been thinking of several names for this podcast. It all depends on who's going to be with me in these. We've got a couple people lined up, because hearing just me is probably boring, and I understand that completely. I try to be funny and make it fun, like the whole, well, Dan Marino doesn't have a Super Bowl ring either. He's like Jay Cutler. You guys make fun of, these guys are perfect for each other for the Dolphins. I try to do funny like that, but you can only do so much. So we don't exactly know a name for it yet. We're just gonna keep doing these. Hopefully this is like something that catches on. Once we do enough of these, we'll get an audience, and it will help us. So, like I said again, just comment, questions just in the comment area. We'll get to them when we can. It shouldn't be too long. I'll try and get to them when I can. So, like and subscribe. Lets me know that you guys really enjoy this. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that are like, subscribe, like, that way, I can show you this or I can show you that. I'm still gonna do these at least for a little bit, even if they're, like no matter what. Like I don't want to have to depend. Like I do have to depend on the audience a little bit, but I don't have to depend on like subscribers and likes. If you just want to watch one of them and not do anything else with it, then that's completely fine. Like I understand that. And so these types of videos are just for audience interaction. They're not ones that like you have to like and subscribe. You can if you want to. That's it. So yes, thank you guys again for watching, especially Bro Gamers. Thanks for getting involved. Thanks for helping me and letting me see how to interact with everybody. So, thank you guys again. Like I said, tomorrow will probably be a gaming video. We'll probably do either Injustice or more Madden, depending on what we do. We might have a special guest tomorrow, uh, depending on lots of stuff. So, uh, thank you guys again for watching. See you in the next video. This is Jin-X-Ken Gaming, and I am out.